The budget hearing is resumed. Please stand for the singing of the national anthem and please remain standing for the silent prayer.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng singanganan, hanap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Upang hihirap, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy, sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang pula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Luha ng araw na balhating pagsinta, buhay sa piling mo. Amigay matay na dahil sa'yo.
Good morning, everyone. Committee Secretary, please acknowledge the resource persons and House members present here today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. May we acknowledge the officials from the Office of the President, Executive Secretary, former Chief Justice Lucas Bersamin. Good morning, sir. Undersecretary Leonardo Roy Cervantes. Undersecretary Al-Azri Muhammad Salik. Attorney Annalisa Logan, Deputy Executive Secretary for Legal Affairs. Attorney Niala Bainto Aguinaldo, Deputy Executive Secretary for General Administration. Attorney Alexander Flores, Assistant Executive Secretary for Support Services and Auxiliaries. Attorney Marvin Cañero, Assistant Executive Secretary for Finance and Administration. Ms. Cynthia Vergara, Assistant Executive Secretary for Internal Audit Office. Attorney Nial Vincent Bainto, Assistant Executive Secretary for General Administration. Attorney Gabriel Lorenzo Ignacio, Assistant Secretary for Strategic Action Response Office. Mr. Ernesto Torres Jr., Executive Director 5, National Secretariat, National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, NSNTF-LCAP. And may we also acknowledge representative from the Department of Budget and Management, Director Gina Brillantes of Bureau C, and we also would like to acknowledge the CSO joining us today, Alyansa na Nagkakaisang Mamamayan, Roberto Diab. May we also acknowledge the following members: Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Marcos, Senior Deputy Minority Leader Edgar Erice, Minority Leader Marcelino Libana, Deputy Minority Leader Antonio Tino, Deputy Majority Leader Munir Arbison Jr., Deputy Majority Leader Bong Teves, Deputy Majority Leader Jan Baronda, Deputy Speaker Faustino D. III, Deputy Minority Leader Leila de Lima, Deputy Speaker Christine Singson Mayhan, Deputy Majority Leader P.M. Vargas, Deputy Minority Leader Bong Suntay, Deputy Majority Leader Bernadette Escudero, Deputy Minority Leader Jet Nisay, Vice Chair Maria Isabel Sagarbaria, Vice Chair Romel Angara, Vice Chair Lalo Matugas, Vice Chair Brian Poe, Vice Chair Arthur Celeste, Vice Chair Monique Lagdemeo, Vice Chair Dante Garcia, Vice Chair Jerry Boy Espina, Vice Chair Queenie Gonzalez, Vice Chair Ompong Ordanes, Vice Chair Ditse Tina Pancho, Vice Chair Jose Alvarez, Vice Chair Loreto Amante, Vice Chair Dale Corbera, Vice Chair Roger Mercado, Assistant Minority Leader Rene Co, Representative Elijah San Fernando, Representative Carlos Loria, Representative Miro Kimbo, Representative Dibutuan, Representative Floravel Yatco, Representative Salvador Pleito, Representative Mario Salvador, Representative Ferdinand Beltran, Representative Paolo Marcoleta, Representative Nathaniel Aducado, Representative Alan Lee, Vice Chair Angela Garcia, Vice Chair Joseph Tan, Vice Chair Marcy Chodoro, Vice Chair Reynante Arrogancia, Vice Chair Arnie Fuentebella, Senior Vice Chairperson Abed Garcia, Vice Chairperson Ferdinand Gonzalez, Representative Siti Amina Dimaporo, and Vice Chair Mika Tan. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ComSec. To the Honorable Executive Secretary and former Chief Justice Lucas P. Bersamin, along with the officials of the Office of the President, distinguished members of the Committee on Appropriations, colleagues in the House, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, we deliberate on the proposed 27.362 billion peso allocation for the Office of the President under the fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program. This proposed budget is designed to enable the country's highest executive office to effectively fulfill its mandate, to be fully responsive to the specific needs and requirements of the President as head of state, head of government, chief executive, and commander-in-chief, and to provide the necessary administrative, advisory, consultative, and other support services in the exercise of these powers and functions. It provides the essential resources to carry out its constitutional duties with efficiency and integrity. One major program under this allocation is the Philippines' hosting of the ASEAN Summit and related meetings. While this funding is incorporated under the Office of the President's budget, it will be released directly to the designated implementing agencies to ensure efficient execution. As the Philippines assumes the chairpersonship of ASEAN in 2026, this budget will support the extensive operational requirements for 231 cluster meetings and 695 subcluster meetings, the largest international event to be hosted by the country next year. It is essential to underscore that the programs and activities of the Office of the President are vital in ensuring effective leadership and the seamless execution of the highest functions of government. This office serves as the primary arm that enables the President to exercise his mandate effectively, advance national priorities, and deliver meaningful services to the Filipino people. Supporting its proposed budget is therefore crucial to strengthen governance, enhance institutional capacity, and ensure that every person of the Committee on Appropriations who will be sponsoring the budget of the Office of the President, our Senior Vice Chairperson, the Honorable Albert Garcia.
Thank you very much, Chair Mika Swansing. Maraming salamat po. Once again, welcome to the Office of the President family dito po sa House of Representatives, headed by our Executive Secretary, Honorable Lucas Bersamin. Sir, you may proceed with your presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and Senior Vice Chairperson. May I just make an opening statement? Your Honors, the delegation of the Office of the President appears before this committee to present, explain, and above all, seek the committee members' support for the proposed budget of the Office of the President for fiscal year 2026. The Office of the President does not want to merely comply with the legal requirements of presenting our proposed budget before a co-equal branch. More importantly, the OP wants to manifest the President's commitment to transparency and accountability that is required of all government offices. These are necessary elements in upholding the country's national interests, as well as in promoting the welfare of our people. As public office is a public trust, all of us must be ready to accept accountability and responsibility over our actions and programs. It has always been the President's view that our inter-branch relationship must be anchored on the principle that governance will be significantly improved through cooperation and support, and that the said relationship must be, at all times, manifested through inter-branch courtesy and respect, while still observing the separation and balance of powers enshrined in our Constitution. Before I present the highlights of our proposed budget, let me just point out that, as in the previous years, and similar to other government offices, we have crafted this proposed budget within the parameters and process set by the Department of Budget and Management and the pertinent laws. For fiscal year 2026, the Office of the President requests a budget of 27,362,355,000 to perform its mandate for the people. This amount, if I may point out, is comprised of two significant budgetary portions. That is, the portion for the regular OP programs, activities, and projects, and the other portion being for the hosting of the Philippines of the 2026 ASEAN summits and related meetings. It can be noted in the detailed presentation of our budget proposal later on that the proposed budget for the regular OP PAPs is 6.82% lower than our proposal last year, which is consistent with the President's directive to all government agencies to be always mindful of the need to provide quality services for the people with less financial requirement in support of the Bagong Pilipinas brand of governance. Your Honors, despite this budget proposal being reduced, we assure the Congress that it will not affect the delivery of the services of the President to the people. The OP will still sufficiently support the implementation of its PAPs, ensuring that all are implementation ready and shall be completed within the validity of the appropriation law in accordance with the cost-based budgeting policy. The President will still be able to accommodate the logistical requirements of honoring invitations from foreign leaders to visit their countries to convey our collective aspirations through effective personal diplomacy. Your Honors, a large portion of our submission is the budget for our country's hosting of the ASEAN summits and related meetings in 2026, which is about 64.33% of the OP budget proposal for fiscal year 2026. We note that while the amount is lodged with the OP, about 38% of this will be released to other offices as their budgetary support for their respective participations in our country's hosting. We are confident that the Philippine chairship of ASEAN 2026 will further improve our standing as a founding member of the ASEAN and will strengthen our political and economic ties with the community and its dialogue partners. As we welcome various regional and world leaders to our country in 2026, our chairship will build on the achievements of previous hostings towards peace, cooperation, shared progress, and prosperity. The country's hosting is likewise most opportune as the ASEAN will be celebrating the 50 years of the ASEAN Treaty of Amity and Cooperation, which embodies universal principles of peaceful coexistence and friendly cooperation among the ASEAN member states. Thank you, Your Honors.
Thank you, Executive Secretary Bersamin. May we request that the Office of the President proceed with
Yes,
the presentation of the budget of the OP?
Yes. For this purpose, Your Honor, may I call on Assistant Executive Secretary Mario Cañero to discuss the details of our proposed budget.
Attorney Cañero, you are recognized. Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honors. We are honored to present the details of our proposed budget for fiscal year 2026. Based on the National Expenditure Program as evaluated by the Department of Budget and Management, the proposed budget of the Office of the President for fiscal year 2026 is 27,362,355,000 pesos. This amount includes provision for retirement, life, and insurance premium and pension. The proposed budget is 72.19% higher than the approved budget for fiscal year 2025. The increase is attributed to the operational requirements for the Philippines hosting of the ASEAN Summit and related meetings. To highlight the trends, we will provide the breakdown of our proposed budget and will make a comparison of the 2025 GAA and the 2026 NEP. We will also underscore significant variances. First off, we have here the breakdown of our proposed budget by allotment class. For personal services requirements, the approved allocation is 1.82 billion pesos, equivalent to 7% of the proposed budget. For maintenance and other operating expenses, the approved allocation is 24.82 billion pesos, which is 91% of our proposed budget. And for capital outlay, we are proposing 720,503,000 pesos. That's 2% of our proposed budget. In terms of appropriation source, the requested appropriation for new appropriations is 27.28 billion. That's 99.72% of our requested appropriation. But for automatic appropriations, we requested 75,920,000. That's equivalent to 0.28% of our requested budget. To better appreciate our proposed budget, we have here a comparative matrix of the 2025 GAA vis-a-vis the 2026 NEP. Next slides, please. We want to highlight, Your Honors, that under the OP's regular program for 2025 GAA, the approved budget is 10.44 billion. However, we only requested under the 2026 NEP 9.73 billion. For the locally funded project, which is again the Philippines hosting of the ASEAN Summit and related meetings, in 2025, the approved budget is 5.4 billion pesos. And under the 2026 NEP, the approved allocation is 17.55 billion pesos. Notably, there is an increase of 6.82% for the regular programs of the Office of the President. This is equivalent to 712,735,000 pesos. For the locally funded project, the increase is 12,152,695,000 pesos, or 225%. The adjustments in the proposed amounts in the 2026 NEP vis-a-vis the 25 GAA are further shown in these comparative variances. Under the total new appropriations, the personal services requirement increased by 36.88%, or 469,974,000. And under the remarks column on this table, Your Honors, we provided the reasons for such increase. For MOOE, there's an increase, and the increase is attributed to the operational requirements again of the locally funded project. The increase is 90.
Leader Libanan.
Mr. Chairman, tradition has it that we give due courtesy to the office of...
Mr. Chair, objection. Narinig ko na po yung tradition and courtesy, so Mr. Chair.
Let us let the minority leader proceed. Please proceed, Minority Leader Libanan.
Sino yun? Nagpapainit pa lang yan. Nagpapainit. Thank you, thank you. As I said, there's the tradition in the House that we give institutional and parliamentary courtesy to the office of the President. However, ito na yun. However, Congressman eh. There are pressing issues which we need to be clarified na napaka-importante na maliwanagan ng taong bayan. Dahil 2 days ago we received may nakita tayong statement in the media tsaka from the office of the Executive Secretary. Nandito na siya ngayon. Kaya gusto nating tanungin siya. And I quote, "The Cabinet strongly objects to the recent spins coming from certain members of the House of Representatives who are thereby attempting to shift the blame for their own corruption and failure onto the executive branch. The members of the Cabinet will not tolerate any attack on the integrity and reputation of the executive branch and any effort to hold the budget process hostage by political theatrics. All our investigation into the anomalies will be futile if the sources of corruption remain unchecked. Hence, we urge the House of Representatives to heed the demand of the people for full accountability. Clean your house first." End of quote. Mr. Chairman, gusto lang namin na maliwanagan kung anong ibig sabihin po nito from our Executive Secretary, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat, Minority Leader Libanan. May we ask the Executive Secretary to briefly respond to shed light on the issues raised by our Minority Leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Minority Leader, for raising this up. It's the elephant in the room. But we came here in good faith. We just would like to emphasize that any part of that statement is our statement. We will not shirk from that or avoid the impact. But we would like to emphasize today that that statement was more to stress our institutional separation from the House of Representatives, some of whose members, and I hope it is not the majority, have expressed some made some statements that we in the cabinet considered to be against institutional separation of powers or institutional to raise the confidence in our institution. So we came up with that statement. It was a consensus of the cabinet, and it was more to emphasize our constitutional position and separation and to elicit cooperation and support from the House of Representatives more than any other. We do not intend that to rile up the tension between our departments, as we have emphasized in the opening statement. We come here seeking your support for our institutional budget. So I think that is all that I can say at this time. There is nothing intended that is malicious or to malign the House of Representatives.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bersamin. Minority Leader.
Another clarificatory question, Mr. Chair.
ang ating mahal na Pangulo ay nagsalita nung State of the Nation Address. In-raise niya itong mga corruption sa flood control projects at he promised to investigate this fully. Sa ngayon po ay nagkakandak po tayo ng congressional investigation sa House. Yung infracom natin mayroon din sa Senado, yung Blue Ribbon Committee. Pero maraming nagsasalita na mas magandang independent body ang mag-imbestiga dito at mabilisan na ma-resolve ito para managot ang dapat managot at makagawa na tayo ng mga dapat gawin. Kaya, Mr. Chairman, gusto kong maliwanagan dahil nakita natin sa news na may draft executive order na gagawin na ginawa ang ating executive secretary at ilalabas na ito ng ating presidente. Pwede ba kaming maliwanagan po dito para magsimula na ang malalimang investigasyon po nito, Sir Chairman?
ES Bersamin, please respond.
Thank you for this opportunity to say something about this statement of the President. We do confirm that we are working on an executive order that will deliver on what the President has started in the SONA. But we are not yet sure when we will come out with it because right now the President is in Cambodia. And once he returns, maybe there will be some developments as far as that goes. But the objective there is to do as he had promised, to come up with an independent commission or body that would continue the query or inquiry into the issues that were raised in his SONA as well as in later statements that he made. So this is all in good faith because unless we initiated the creation of an independent body, we will just be waiting for other institutions. Now, we do not preempt the Congress, especially this House, from doing its own, to taking the initiative also in this respect. The initial discussions in the executive is that whatever commission is created by presidential fiat would be would have a timeline, a sunset, meaning a sunset. And if it becomes your privilege to look at it in the same way and maybe pass a law or laws regarding the investigation of these anomalies, we will not be a hindrance there. This EO will not be barring you from doing that, because that is your institutional responsibility also. So that is the light in which we would like you to see this proposed EO that the executive may come out with.
Minority Leader.
Thank you for that answer, Mr. Chairman. And I believe we are now ready to present the proper motion. I therefore move, Mr. Chairman, that we...
Objection.
We object, Mr. Chair.
Wala pa nga eh. Let me finish my motion before we make the objection. Mr. Chairman, I move that we terminate consideration of...
Mr. Chair, we object because for the reason
Subject
that
to
we
the
have...
subject to
Please
the
let the
clarification,
Minority Leader
and-
finish his motion.
subject to the clarification and questioning of 3 members of the House after the motion is approved. In other words, they still have time because 3 of them manifested that they will be asking questions to the office of the President. So subject to those 3 members of the minority, Congresswoman Rene, Congressman Tino, and the clarificatory question also from the Honorable Laila de Lima, I move that we terminate the consideration of the budget of the office of the President.
I second the motion. I second the motion.
There is a
Objection.
motion and duly seconded.
Objection.
There's an objection.
Mr. Chair, may I be allowed to explain my objection?
Please proceed.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, now of all times is not the time for parliamentary courtesy, but for full transparency in the budget process, especially for the budget of the Office of the President. No? Sinimulan po ng Presidente sa kanyang SONA ang, sabi niya, paglaban sa corruption at pagreforma sa proseso ng pagbabudget. Nagbanta pa nga siya na handa daw siyang magkaroon ng reenacted budget, no, kung hindi babaguhin ang proseso ng pagbabudget. So bakit ngayon ay pinipigilan natin ang pagbulatlat sa buong budget ng Office of the President, no? Napakarami pong mga tanong na kailangang sagutin ng Office of the President mismo. Dapat ng Presidente mismo. Kaya lang, the closest we can get here is the Executive Secretary. Kaya hindi po, kahit sabihin po, sa plenaryo nyo na lang tanungin, dito lang po tayo magkakaroon ng pagkakataon at maririnig ng publiko ang direktang pagsagot ng Office of the President mismo through the Executive Secretary. No? At napakarami pong mga issue na dapat i-raise, na humihingi ng kasagutan. Unang-una na sa budget mismo ng Presidente, yung confidential and intelligence funds. 4.5 billion pesos po ang nasa budget ng confidential and intelligence funds ng Presidente. Binulatlat po, alam natin lahat, ang confidential funds ng Vice President at nakita natin doon, Mary Grace Piatos, no, mga peking resibo. No, kailangan pong makita rin at marinig ng taong bayan kung baka meron ding Mary Grace Piatos ang confidential and intelligence funds ng Office of the President. Kung wala, di dapat walang ikatakot sa pagtatanong. No? Pangalawa, narito po ang NTF-ELCAC at napakarami po nating issue at ang mamamayan ay may maraming issue sa NTF-ELCAC. Human rights violations, nagpapatuloy na human rights violations. Kasama na yung tuloy-tuloy na red tagging pa rin ng NTF-ELCAC sa kabila ng Supreme Court decision na nagsasabing mali yan at dapat itigil. No, ang nagpapatuloy ng mga extrajudicial killings, pagtakip sa mga aktivista at mamamayan, mga violations of our IHL law, kasama na dyan yung pagbobomba sa mga civilian communities at pandarahas, no, violations of ordre combat, no, yung mga hindi na nakakalaban na mga rebelde, no? Nandiyan din ang mga tanong kaugnay halimbawa sa President's Social Fund. Off budget po ito pero 7 billion pesos po ito. No, kailangan ding makahingi tayo ng paliwanag kung paano ito ginagastos ng presidente mismo. At higit sa lahat po, kailangan pong sagutin ng presidente at harapin ang sarili niyang responsibilidad sa kasalukuyang issue ng malawakang corruption sa flood control. No? Sinertify as urgent po ni Pangulong Marcos ang tatlong budget sa ilalim ng kanyang termino, no? 2023, 2024, 2025. Dahil dito, pinirmahan din niya ang mga GAA. No? Sa mga budget na ito, umaabot sa walang kapantay na 1 trillion pesos halos ang pondo na binuhos sa flood control projects. Ito ngayon, 1 trillion pesos, no? 2 beses na mas malaki kaysa sa kabuuang binuhos ng 6 na taon ng Duterte administration, 6 na beses na mas malaki kaysa sa inilaan para sa flood control ng nakaraang Aquino administration. Kaya po kung may walang kapantay na pandarambo ngayon na nagaganap sa flood control, ito ay dahil sa walang kapantay ang pondong ibinuhos sa flood control projects ng Marcos Jr. administration. No? At totoo ang malaki ang responsibilidad ng Kongreso, House and Senate sa mga insertions ng flood control projects. Pero yung corruption po ay nagaganap sa execution ng budget, sa pagpapatupad ng budget. Executive po ang nag-award ng mga kontrata sa mga kontraktor. Sila po ang nagbabayad sa mga kontraktor kahit pa may ghost project yan. No, kaya po nasa kapangyarihan, responsibilidad ng presidente na bantayan at pigilan ito. Kaya kailangan po itanong natin, ano ba ang ginawa nyo para mapigilan ang nakikita natin ngayon, pambihirang pandarambong na nagaganap sa ngalan ng flood control projects. No? Kaya po, as a last point, Mr. Chair, kaya po tayo tumututol, the parliamentary courtesy that is being extended now is simply a courtesy. No? Ibig sabihin nun, pwede pong i-waive ng Office of the President ang courtesy na ito at pwede niyang piliin na sagutin ang mga katanungan katulad ng mga katanungang nabanggit ko. Kaya dahil po dyan, mariing tumututol po tayo sa motion na i-terminate at pigilan na ang interpellation ng budget ng Office of the President. Maraming salamat.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you very much, DML
Mr. Chairman,
Tino. I will now
Mr. Chairman,
recognize on the part of the majority, Deputy Speaker D. Please proceed.
Mr. Chair, on the part of the majority, in line with the long-standing tradition of extending institutional courtesy to the office of the President, I move to terminate the budget deliberations on the proposed budget of the office of the President without prejudice to the Constitution, to the constitutional authority of Congress to review, amend, or deny any item in the General Appropriation Bill. So I move.
Second the motion,
Mr. Chair, I
So
object.
there is a motion on
Mr. Chair,
part of the
since there is
majority.
objection on the
Mr. Chair.
table.
Duly seconded.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
And
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
yes, the Honorable
is,
Mercado.
With due respect to everybody, it is in our rules, Mr. Chairman, that we have to have a process, a procedure. This is a budgetary hearing. And we have a procedure that that we have to comply. The first to ask or interpellate is the minority. The second is the independent, and the last will be the majority. I therefore claim that rule on procedure that we have for purposes of orderly discussion. We have to be mindful of our rules and implement this rule, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
The
Chairman,
manifestation of the Honorable Mercado is well
Yes.
taken, but we have a pending motion.
yes, move for the previous question, Mr. Chairman, let's resolve it.
The point
Mr.
of
Chair.
order is not taken because we have a pending motion, and this is part of our rules.
Mr.
We shall
Chair,
now-
if I may just discuss on also a point of order, because there is an objection to the
Mr. Chair,
motion,
we should
and we
first
already
rule on the
discussed po
standing
the
motion
content of
before
the
entertaining
objection.
any other motions or questions. Let's rule first on the standing motion.
So there is a motion on part of the minority and the majority, duly seconded, and there is an objection. We will now vote on the motion.
Point of order, Mr.
So,
Chairman.
Secretariat, please count the
What will
votes
happen
by
to
our members.
our
Voting is ongoing, Honorable Mercado.
Madam Chair, just a manifestation
We
Yes,
will proceed.
before the voting
Mag-
proceeds.
Mag-proceed muna tayo sa voting, then we will hear your
Okay.
manifestation. Voting will proceed. Please raise your hands, those that are in favor of the motion. Motion to terminate the budget hearing of the Office of the President. Please raise your hands. In favor. So the vote on the affirmative is 56. Those that are not in favor of the motion, please raise your hands. Okay, so 56 in the affirmative, 5 in the negative. The motion is carried.
Just a manifestation, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair. If I may be accorded to make a manifestation.
The committee hereby terminates the budget hearing on the proposed budget of the Office of the President
Madam
in
Chair,
observance of the institutional courtesy and without prejudice to the constitutional authority of Congress over the General Appropriations Bill.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
my
We
motion
now
was
recognize the,
to allow 3 members of the minority to
Yes.
make their clarificatory
yes, we will go to that, Minority Leader.
Thank you very much,
We
Mr.
first
Chair.
recognize the Honorable Marcoleta.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gusto ko rin po sanang pagbigyan ang mungkahi ng ating na naig naman yung pong ating pag-extend ng parliamentary courtesy sa ating Pangulo. Maganda po sana yon kung meron po tayong patas na aplikasyon ng tradisyon na ito. But let me just refresh the memory of our colleagues here. For 2 consecutive years, we have broken that tradition of parliamentary courtesy nung atin pong we have tremendously scrutinized the OBP budget. Ngayon, sabi po nga po ng ating colleague na si Congressman Tino ng DBCC budget hearing, what is sauce for the gander should be sauce for the goose. There should be, sabi po ni, I have to acknowledge Representative Kimbo also, sinabi niya sa akin kanina yon. There should be fair application of the rules. Kung atin pong bibigyan ng parliamentary courtesy ang ating Pangulo, dapat ganun din ang ating Vice Presidente. Otherwise, we do not accord both offices. Dapat po ganun lang. Hindi po dapat selective ang ating aplikasyon ng tradisyon na yon. Yun lang po, salamat po.
The manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta is noted.
Mr. Chair,
Minority,
Mr. Chair.
Senior Minority Leader.
Meron
Elise,
po
you're
tayong
recognized.
meron tayong rule na kung sino po yung nagpa-register, minority, independent, majority. Can we do that in the process of manifesting our own?
Yes. Thank you for your suggestion, Senior Minority Leader Erice. We have already terminated the deliberation of the budget of the Office of the President, but we can hear the manifestations of our members at lahat po ito ay maririnig ng ating Office of the President upang makapag-responde sila pagdating po natin sa plenary. So bibigyan po namin kayo ng pagkakataon para i-manifest ang inyong mga gustong sabihin dito sa hearing na ito. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would like also to reserve my manifestation.
Noted, Honorable Mercado. So, may I recognize the Honorable Minority Leader?
Mr. Chair, then we can proceed to the clarificatory questions of the 3 members of the minority, Mr. Chair.
Yes. So, who would like to, may I recognize the Senior Deputy Minority Leader to go to proceed with his manifestation?
Thank
The
you,
Honorable
Mr.
Erice. Please proceed.
Yes, Mr. Chair, because I'm the first one who register. Thank you. Ang manifestation ko lang po ay tungkol po dun sa proposed independent commission na bubuin ng ating Pangulo. Actually, we in the Liberal Party are filing a proposal today or maybe tomorrow upang bigyan po ng legislative authority ang komisyon na ito nang sa ganon ay magkaroon po ng coercive at subpoena powers. Naniniwala po kami na kung ang komisyon na ito ay walang ganitong kapangyarihan ay mahihirapan para makapag-imbestiga ng maayos at masusi. So, hinihiling po namin na sana itong panukalang batas na ito ay masertipikahan ng ating Pangulo kung seryoso tayo dito sa pag-iimbestiga na ito. Gusto ko rin pong i-manifest na hindi lang po dapat siguro yung korupsyon sa flood control ang ating imbestigahan, kundi po yung korupsyon sa sanhi ng flood control, ng floodings dito sa Metro Manila. At yung walang tigil pong korupsyon sa paghakot ng mga basura ng mga local governments at ng mga contractors ng paghakot ng basura. Ganon din po yung ating mga dam sites na yung pong basura ay napupunta na po sa ating mga ilog at karagatan dahil din po sa korupsyon. I think we owe to our people that we really investigate this matter, not only the flood control, but also the poor solid waste management by local governments and the Metro Manila Development Authority. Yun lamang po. Salamat.
Okay, maraming salamat, Senior Deputy Minority Leader Erice. At nakita ko po yung ating mga kasama sa Office of the President are taking notes. Nang sa ganoon pagdating sa plenary ay masagot po yung inyong mga queries and clarifications. Next, may we call on the Honorable Renee Ko for her manifestation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to open na similarly we objected to the carrying over of the motion granting interbranch parliamentary courtesy sa scrutiny ng Office of the President budget. It is because aside from I also agree with the arguments that are put forth by Representative Tino, ang executive mismo na rin and Office of the President mismo ang nagsabi na kailangan ng overall review of the budget. Hindi lang po ito sa DPWH, pero binubukas po ito sa buong 2026 NEP budget. At bilang mga representante ng mga mamamayan, ginagawa namin yung aming duties kung saan nagpa-participate at nagli-lead din ng gantong review, which must include po yung Office of the President. Wala pong rason kung bakit mag-extend po ng gantong klaseng courtesy at a time when spending in the government is undergoing intense public scrutiny and even outrage over the recent and discoveries on systemic corruption. I'd also like to point out na maraming instances po or there are several instances in the past that this courtesy was waived po, specifically on the most recently in the deliberations of the 2025 budget of the Office of the Vice President and even yung budget po ng Office of the President for fiscal year 2021. But we were able to provide and compound questions po and the Executive Secretary and the staff of the Office of the President were able to provide answers. Meron pong historical precedent for the waiving of this courtesy and may historical precedent po ng pagsagot po ng Office of the President and Office of the Vice President sa mga tanong tungkol sa mga gantong klaseng mga katanungan ng bayan. And lastly po, even though we were provided the opportunity to provide a manifestation, magiging glaringly silent po yung buong proceedings sa bahagi ng civil society organizations who in the course of the different budget hearings and briefings ay pwede silang makapagbigay ng mga katanungan at may entertain ito. Right now, ay walang ganong opportunity or avenue. And that's why beyond yung sa aming discussion, ay gusto rin namin maging totoo doon sa ating promise ng full transparency and accountability sa gantong klaseng commitment, but through being open to scrutiny, being open to these questions, and then providing answers to the public. And so, bahagi po din dito, aside from yung mga na-raise, patuloy nating tinatanong ano pong nangyayari doon sa confidential and intelligence funds na ginagamit ng Office of the President. Nandiyan po yung 2.25 budget for confidential funds and 2.31 budget of intelligence funds. And similarly, yung more than 1 billion travel funds na if we do the math, ang mangyayari po ay the Office of the President can use can use on average 2.79 million per day in travel funds. We'd like a report o we gusto nating makita kung asaan ginagamit ang itong mga pondo dahil at a time kung saan yung ilang bilyones ay winawasak sa mga ghost projects or sa substandard projects, every peso counts. We'd like to see kung asan yung directly in charge dito po sa iba't ibang mga infrastruktura or gagamitan ng fund na ito. That is all for our questions. And again, I repeat my standing objection doon sa pagkakaroon and pag-afford po ng courtesy at a time of intense public scrutiny of the spending of government.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Thank
Mr.
you
Chair.
very much, Honorable Rene Co.
Mr.
Rest
Chair.
assured na lahat ng inyong queries and questions will be answered come plenary ng budget ng Office of the President.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
May we recognize on the part of the majority, Chairman Pepito Alvarez?
Yes, I'd just like to take this opportunity kasi nandito si Executive Secretary Bersamin na yung mga sinasuggest natin few days back ay wala ho sa NOAA's project sa UP kung saan talaga yung unang-unang mga binabaha. So gusto lang natin na tanggalin na muna sa Kongreso yan, tanggalin na muna dito sa submission ng DPWH dito sa Kongreso para i-lodge muna yan sa Office of the President para ang Office of the President led by Secretary Bersamin, siya na po ang mamahala doon kung saan talaga ilalagay at saan talaga kailangan yung flood control funding na yan. Kaya walang masama po doon sa ating mga suggestion na tanggalin mo na yan sa presentation ng Public Works at i-lodge mo na sa Office of the President. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you,
Mr.
Committee Chair on Energy, Pepito Alvarez. Let's proceed with the
Just a quick
line that we
manifestation.
have for the manifestation. Ang susunod po, who has indicated his intention to manifest, is si Honorable Tino.
Mr. Chair, I already expressed my position as well as articulated the questions I would have raised and expected to be answered by no less than the Executive Secretary. So that is already on the record, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Tino. Well noted po yung inyong objection and manifestation kanina. Next, may we recognize the Honorable Laila De Lima, Deputy Minority Leader Laila De Lima. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, and also to the delegation from the Office of the President led by the distinguished Executive Secretary. Manifestation. First, I'd like to state that I actually abstained from the voting earlier. I abstained because I do recognize the parliamentary courtesy being accorded to the Office of the President, and at the same time, I agree with the dissenters that we cannot be prevented from asking questions. Now, I understand, and also manifestations. I understand that after the vote was carried, the motion to terminate the proceedings or the questioning on the OP's budget, we are allowed to state our manifestation. So, first would be about the executive order. I was actually pleased hearing from the distinguished Executive Secretary that indeed there is an upcoming executive order only that we do not know when it could be released. And also, I heard from this representation, heard from the distinguished executive secretary that no problem with the Office of the President, as they recognize also the institutional independence of this House of Congress to file a bill creating an independent commission. And may I just confirm what our senior deputy minority leader, Egay Arise, manifested earlier, that indeed we are planning to file a bill soonest. And it would be filed principally by the members of the LP bloc, the Liberal Party House members. And then we also welcome others from the minority and even from the majority to join us in filing that bill. As I think most of you know, that I have been opposing the current inquiry, the investigation being made by the Infracom. I do think, I maintain most firmly that there has to be an independent commission. We feel that a legislated independent commission or an independent commission created by law and not just executive order would have more teeth. And the focus here would be really to inquire into the anomalous infrastructure projects, especially the flood control projects. So that is a confirmation of our plan to file very, very soon. It's either today or tomorrow, that bill. As a further manifestation, and I do intend to ask questions during the plenary session, I would be directing my questions on 5 attached agencies of the Office of the President. The OPAPRO, the DDB. The OPAPRO is the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity. Then the DDBB, Dangerous Drugs Board. The PRA, or the Philippine Reclamation Authority. The PCO, or the Philippine Communications Office, and also NTF-ELCA. Just to present a very brief manifestation on the crux or the focus of the questions that I would be posing in the course of the plenary session as to the OPAPRO. We are aware that there's upcoming BARM elections. And then there are problems, actually. There are very sensitive issues surrounding the BARM. And then the news have it that the MILF has actually suspended the final phase of decommissioning. This is a very serious problem. So I will be asking a series of questions about that. What is in fact happening? Why is it going that way? What are the grievances from the MILF camp? And what is the executive department, particularly the Office of the President, doing about it in order to arrest or in order to preclude any possible violence, especially in the upcoming elections? Then on the DDB, I'll be asking about what exactly are the gains, the success rate of the policies and programs being implemented by the DBB. Are there concrete policies, anti-drugs policies? And is there a shift of the approach of government? Because we've been asking the PNP and they keep on saying that they have in fact implemented a shift from the punitive approach to human rights-based, medical-based approach in combating our drugs problem. So I would have to ask the DDB a series of questions on that. And the PRA, Philippine Reclamation Authority, magtatanong po ako, ilan na ho ba ang mga reclamation projects sa ngayon? Magtatanong din po ako kung ongoing pa ba yung mga reclamation na yan? Or was there an official order or directive from the Office of the President as to the suspension of these reclamation projects? Marami pong problema tungkol dyan. And then the PCO, I would actually have to ask questions with respect to alleged PCO corruption revealed by PTV4 anchor Mike Abe. Meron po siyang mga dinisclose, meron po siyang mga inexposed na alleged irregularities and anomalies within the PCO or the Philippine Communications Office. And of course, the NTF-LCAC, I share the sentiment of Representative Rene Co that bakit po taon-taon ay dinadagdagan ang budget ng NTF-LCAC. Ganon din po for 2026. I am not convinced that NTF-LCAC would be receiving substantial budget. At aalamin din po natin ano ang pinakapolisiya ng NTF-LCAC about yung red tagging. Because red tagging has always been attributed to that task force, to the NTF-LCAC. So yun po ang mga nais kong itatanong in due time, especially in the plenary session. Maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Deputy Minority Leader Laila De Lima, for your manifestation. And the last to give his manifestation, may we call on the Honorable San Fernando. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a very quick manifestation as to why I objected to the motion. Number one, no other than the President himself has said that there must be transparency and accountability, especially with regard to the discussion of the national budget. And so we must scrutinize the OP budget in that spirit. Second, may I just remind my honorable and distinguished colleagues that the power of the purse is vested upon the House of Representatives. And also in that spirit, we must scrutinize every peso and every centavo being given to the agencies and departments para naman po maging fair sa ating mga manggagawat ordinaryong Pilipino dahil pera po ng mga manggagawat ordinaryong Pilipino ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. And just as what Representative De Lima has said, we will support the bill that will be pushed regarding the formation of an independent commission, and we will reserve the questions to the plenary with regards to the attached agencies of the Office of the President. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Honorable San Fernando. Sa ating mga kasama na nag-express ng kanilang manifestation, rest assured na lahat po ito ay sasagutin natin pagdating ng budget ng Office of the President sa plenaryo.
Mr. Chair.
So with that, I would like to recognize Vice Chair Puentebella.
Yes,
proceed.
Since there are no more members who wishes to make any manifestation, I move to suspend the budget hearing until 11 o'clock this morning.
Okay. Budget hearing is suspended to give way to the next agency at 11 o'clock this morning. Maraming salamat po, dear colleagues. Maraming salamat po sa Office of the President. At maraming salamat po, E.S. Lucas Bersamin.